Yeah, it's a special edition of the Rap Radar podcast. My name is B.
Elliot Wilson.
Good to see you, Elliot.
Good to see you, B.
Long time.
Hey.
Yes. But it's also good to see these guys, man.
Who made this happen?
I don't know, man. Ransom and DJ Premier.
Look, Russell Bag put this together.
You know what? I said, listen, man, I don't like doing interviews. The last one I did was with this gentleman right here. And I was like, man, if I come back and I'm with Preem now, I'm like, man, I got to bring the band back together, man. I got to get my boys back together, man. Rap Radar is
important.
It was
the group chat.
Yeah, it was a group. Like, yo, what y'all think? And I kind of shot it out there thinking it's not going to happen because I was like, I didn't want to do anything. So let me just shoot for the stars just because I know they'll shoot it down. Yeah. And then they came back real quick like, oh, yeah, they said, I'm like, damn, fuck.
I got to talk.
Yeah, fuck.
About this great album, fuck.
Yeah, but it's like, all right, if I had to do it.
Ian's going to make it happen. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's what we're doing? Okay, done, I'm on it.
Now I know Ian, I'm like, fuck, this Ian's fucking a sharpshooter. Yeah. But if anybody, it had to be Rap Radar, it had to be this, it had to be both of you. And it had to be, this is important to me.
But how did this madness start? Because Ian, so my point of view is Ian sent me all of a sudden a video, and it's them with the Rap Radar clip there. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
That was you. That was you.
I told him to send it to B. But I'm like, so how did you turn our podcast into a song?
That was really real. Mm-hmm. That was really real. I was watching that. And I was sending him a couple tracks to wrap up the end of the project, and I was like, "Yo, something about the way he said chaos is my ladder in the interview." And you've said it before in other settings.
Named albums after.
Yeah, definitely.
But that one, I was just like, I mean, literally, I was like, "Ooh!" And I'm like that. A conversation could turn into a record. So for me, when he and then listen to he's been locked up. He's hustled in the streets. He's lost his family members. He knows what it's like to really go through being in the mud. And sometimes the mud follows you even when you are clean and out. So I can relate even just with the pain that comes in his lyrics, but also the realness that comes in his lyrics from past records that I like that he did all the way down to 2008. Because Street Cinema dropped when I was dropping my first NYG's record. So anything that was coming from the underground at that time, I always, stayed on it just as a DJ. So that was one of, that was 08, right? Yeah, Street Cinema.
That's the first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
but
you knew me.
Am I right? Right?
Yeah. I didn't even know you knew me, man.
I got a memory. Hey, man, what do I say, Ian? My memory is impeccable.
Yes. That's sharp.
It is.
Jay-Z calls me Memory Man.
Memory Man.
Yeah, he said, you remember everything. So going back to that and then going fast forward to now, it just felt like it embodied all of that. So I was like, yo, man, we should do a song out of that, and I'm going to take the way you said it and scratch it in it. And that's the reason why that became a record. So, but that interview is the one that caught me just from thumbing through. I just wanted to see how he interviewed.
Yeah, do you watch other interviews of people that you
I
work with?
love watching interviews.
Okay.
I'm talking about from actors on down. I kind of want to see how much I identify to my life and how similar it is to me. So even what he was saying, I was like, I know he could write some ill verses to that. And now that caused us to on our business chat with the whole team, he was like, yo, you know what I'd like to do? And he said, and that's what he said, put the band back together. and even if it's not doable, let's give it a shot and see if they're down to do this interview. So that's when Ian got on his check 1, 2, and he said it's a go.
I was like, oh, shit. I was like, fuck,
he said, be on time because I'm flying them up.
But the album's called The Reinvention, right? And by definition, a reinvention is to remake something completely as it for the first time. Why was that like a fitting title for this project?
I'll go first, Preem. Just listening to the beats and I never have a pre-consumption of what pre-idea of what I'm gonna do before I hear it. So when Preem sent it and I started writing, it just kind of formed like that. And going back and forth from Preem, and Preem said something interesting, because we talk on the phone all the time. I would say, and he would tell these stories of Jay and Nas and then being in the studio, and I'd just be picking from that. While I'm like, yo, and you can hear it in the rhymes where I'm like, yo, I talked to Preem and he said something about big, and I'm like, so it was like, and then I said, I thought, I'm like, man, this shit is like a reinvention because even the cover is the snake is eating itself.
Its tail.
Right. So it's like you kill off one version of yourself for the next version to grow. And it's kind of like what this album sounded like when we was done and finished with it. It's like, damn, we talking about my moms and talking about past tribulations and shit like that. So it just came together like that. Yep.
Yeah. You alluded to this project the last time we talked. So how long was this in the making?
Oh yeah, damn. Yep. But this was.
Didn't take too long.
Yeah. What we did, a week's worth of writing and producing. So when we did our last interview, it was done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was done. Yep.
Yeah. What was the jump off point? Like, when did you decide? Was there a moment working together? You was like, oh, we should do a whole full project. Like, when was it?
When I saw you came to Kaufman that day.
Yeah.
And were you working with Brady Watt?
working with
Yeah,
Brady, yeah.
he's working with Brady Watt, who's also signed to us. And it was just one day we gonna get it. You know, it's all. I think that's with any artist. We gonna connect.
Everybody wanted a Preemo beat.
I mean, I was wondering. I'm like, man.
And then of course Ian was like, "Yo, you want to squeeze that Ransom thing in?" Because I have so many things going on, obviously, and I'm addicted to just making records all the time. I just love getting stuff done, getting it out there. I mean, you know my track record, so both of you. So I was like, is this process? Yeah, I'm always worried about your process. Do you take a while? He's out of town, I'm out of town, and then, Ran is always just so laid back and chill. Yeah, like you were talking about how I was like a Fonzie and just cool and laid back. I'm like, what can I do to get Ransom laugh? Like he's just always in serious mode. So I remember the first beat I sent him was Amazing Graces. I mean, cooked it right there, sent it to him. I said, you know what, I'm gonna FaceTime him and see if he pick up, because we don't know each other like that to know if he's gonna pick up. And he picked up and gave me a look like, dude, this is what we starting with? All right. And he said, let me work on it, and I'm going to send it back. So Amazing Graces really set the entire tone. And that wasn't even supposed to be the first thing that we leaked out. It was just our plans changed because we got our record on the 2K game, the NBA 2K game, and it was like, well, since they're helping promote it, let's put that first, because we had a different record that was going to come first. So... thank goodness the response has been good. And like I said, it really was the first thing I cooked to send them. Everything was cooked organically, the same way.
That's
I
how
mean,
you do it.
Yeah,
I've
never changed that. Now I have stacks of beats that somebody may have turned down in my years, but I still just like. I mean, I was raised that way. You come see me, I make it, you write it, you lay it.
It's almost like preparing a meal.
Yeah, exactly. And that's still, I think that's the best way, because a blank canvas has to turn into something that you can identify with, that I thought sounded like what you do. I saw Gamble and Huff doing an interview, and they said everything we did, from the OJs to the Jacksons to the Jones Girls to Teddy Pendergrass, we always made something that we think we hear them on. That's what I did with him.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw something that was the RZA thing in Drink Champs, where he talked about you have
My
a formula.
formula.
Your formula, yeah. And I don't think he fully articulated it like to the point of what it exactly was. Like, what did you gather from that when he said that?
Well, one of the things that he's pointed out was, no matter what, Premier's gonna scratch on a record.
Yeah.
And that's true, because hearing Public Enemy records, and I mean, even Dismasters, Small Time Hustler, that's Chuck
Chunky
Chill out.
pulling up in
Yeah,
caddies.
knowing that car belongs to your daddy, like that. They everything always had scratching in it.
yeah.
So.
Almost if you could hear it being world premiere on the radio.
Yeah. So, and to me, in this stage of my career, I feel like me scratching is my verse. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah. Ran, you're a real student of the game. What does it mean to have a full project with DJ Premier?
Yeah, I said this on X, man. It's literally a dream come true. I know that's tongue in cheek and cliche.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it, but no, literally, people that know me for years, they know. Nas, Jay, Big, those are my favorite artists of all time. That list will never change for me. And Premier helped paint a backdrop for those particular artists, for sure. So and Coogee rap, and like these guys birthed me. You know, I come from that tree, and Preemo gave them their score to their movies most of the time. This is literally a dream come true. I'm like, yo, I fucking did it, man. Like, nah, for real, like, man, I did. I come from, I'm not a rapper, you know, I don't consider myself to be a rapper and, you know, running around here rapping and shit. Not many people even heard me just rap. Like, my wife never seen me rap. You know what I'm saying? I've been with her like 10 years. She's never really seen me rap. I'm not a rapper, so I'm more of a fan, and fucking way more of a fan than a fucking rapper. So I fanned out. Like, even when the first time we...
when you got that first beat through the face, how did you feel when you got the
like,
bass
first
track?
of all, you know, I'm a grouch, man. So it's like, I'm a fucking grouch.
He keeps it 100.
Yeah, nah.
Curmudgeon.
FaceTiming me, I'm like, if it ain't it could have been anybody else. I'd have been like, motherfucker, what? But it's Preemo. I'm like, what's up? Yeah, you said the beat. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. So even to get that first FaceTime and that first connection, it was crazy. Like I said, it's a dream, man. I'm living a dream. I'm literally living a dream.
And Preem, you've done full projects with Royce the 5'9", Rock, Marcy, Nas later this year. Did it feel different this time around?
I always lock in, and actually Nas
Just said that about him a couple of days ago on the phone. He's like, yo,
he said that new Amazing Graces is dope. And, you know, from Nas, I didn't call and say, hey, do you like what you know, we just having a conversation. And he goes, yo, that new Ransom. He said, yo, you still, it is literally what he said. He said, you still make the beats to the artist. He said, you know, our stuff don't sound like him, and then his don't sound like ours, but you still make it dope for whoever you're working with. He said, and that Amazing Graces is bumping. And for him to say that, you know, same thing even with LL the other day, he was like, yo, that Glory Hole with Rock Marcy. I'm like, oh, you like that? Not that I'm surprised, but it's LL.
Right.
Still, to this day, it's LL. And I didn't ask him, hey, you like my new, you know, I don't ask people, what do you think of my stuff anyway? So for him to say, yo, that Glory Hole, the video was dope, and I'm just sitting like, damn. And then for Nas to say that about him without me mentioning Ran, I didn't even know if he knows Ran or not.
Me neither.
whoa. But that's what he said. He said, yo, you always make it towards the artist. So that's the only approach I know is or rest in peace to Guru. He said, I'm a beat tailor. He said, it's almost like you could look at somebody and go, this is the suit you should wear. And, you know, he said, you always just put the right colors together for that person. And that's what I enjoy.
So what do you think makes Rand so unique as an MC?
I like hardcore rap. And but look, Tribe ain't hardcore. De La's not hardcore, but I'm a big De La fan. I'm a big Tribe fan, and their stuff is more musical and melodic. But just the aggression and his wordplay, like the word. I was just telling him, I said, man, Soul Killer is a crazy project. You know what I'm saying? And
I was like, damn, you heard that?
I was like, yeah. I was like, yo. And I said, who's Sandra? You know, which is a song on there. But that's how much I'm tuned in based on what's being fed to me with my ears here. Because I think I have what you call an ear memory. Everything is. My ears won't forget what's being fed that'll make me resonate with a record that I want to keep bumping. And that's why when I saw him outside and told him, I said, yo, Soul Killer is a classic album. And I didn't do that just to flatter him now. I just started just running through stuff that I didn't hear. Because I told him Street Cinema was the first one I heard. And his approach to rhyming was a little more loud and barkish, you know, like he was very forceful in his earlier albums.
What was that?
I was upset.
Oh, no, you still say
Real play? Yeah, I was upset. Yeah.
But it's a different upset. You can tell the growth. And shout to our guy, our art, one of our art the guys that does our album covers, Mark from Ill Graphics, is the name of his company, and he's the one that actually Mark came up with the idea of what I had no involvement. You know, I always feel like if the MC is really deep into how they are, because I'm hands on with everything. when he explained what made him want to draw the snake and explain it, and I saw Ransom go, I love it. I'm like, cool. Same thing when we did the Armani section for Rock. I was like, that's cool. And Mark did that too. I'm like, it's all right. Rock was like, I love it. Oh, okay. Then if Rock love it, he's authentic enough for me to say, all right, I love it. You know, if I'm really against it, I'll be like, nah, man, I want to do something else, and I'll whine and press to listen, make adjustments. But he was like, nah, Preem, because it's totally identifies with what we're doing. Got it, and I'll leave it alone. And same thing with the cover. I'm very picky into covers. Like with me and Nas, I'm like, the cover got to be right. Man.
That's the delay.
Keep changing the title. What's the name of it gonna be? Then it changes to another one, then another one. So that keeps making you see different things. Where Reinvention was the last record we did. It was the last record we did, and it made me think of my mother and my father, mainly my mom, because she went through dementia, and just everything he was saying, you hear the pain in it. And I usually don't close out with a sad record, but it sounded like the last one. And then he said, that's what I'm gonna call the album. So I didn't know that's what he was gonna call it.
Yeah. How challenging was writing that record, Rand, and how did you get there?
It wasn't too challenging because I'm very observant. I need to observe life to write. I just don't make shit. I can't sit there and make up like B-Dot's favorite rappers. I can't do that.
I'm supposed to be here for that.
Boom, I had to set him a shot real quick. Nah,
Elevator's not working, so you gotta take the stairs back down.
I can't make shit up, man. Yeah. So it wasn't hard because that's kind of like, it's kind of cathartic and therapeutic for me to write my life experiences and to be able to observe them and take them in and consume them and then have an outlet to actually be able to get it out. So I find joy in it. So it's not, it's actually how I'm able to deal with certain traumatic things and how I look. My whole outlook on life is stoic, and even my process to writing rhymes is stoic. So I don't. It's not too much emotion going on. Maybe when I start to record it and start to say the words and you hear them back and listening back on, because I record myself, maybe it get a little emotional. But as far as like writing it, nah. I love it.
Do you share with family? Because you're talking about like your mom and your sister, and do they get to hear it, or you keep that person? Like you say, your wife doesn't hear your stuff. Do you keep it?
Yeah, I keep it nip and tuck. I don't even know if my sister listens. I don't want them to hear my shit. Like my oldest daughter, she was like, I was like, don't listen to my shit. Like, don't listen to me, because I have fans who know her name, and I find that I'm torn between that type of stuff because it's like I don't want you to know my daughter's name, but I am the one sharing the art, and so I'm torn between my family saying these things in these records and my family actually consuming it and hearing it. And be like, cause I got in trouble a couple. Like my sister, like, a couple times I say some stuff, and sister like, what do you talk? You can't say that, and why do you talk like this in these records? I'm like, this is what I do. It's my art. So I don't necessarily want them to hear what I'm saying, but at the same token, I can't hold back.
Yeah,
I can't. I have to. Yeah, I have to let it spill out.
Right.
I have to.
You showcase some storytelling on survivor's remorse. Yeah. Was that based on real life events?
For sure. I showcase a lot of storytelling. Come on, it's not the first time, man. I do this. Yeah. But like I said, it's easy for me. I love telling stories, writing scripts, however you want to put it. I like to fancy when I'm writing. I like to fancy myself as like a script writer or a director of a movie.
You said you were gonna say a story or joint. You said we need a story.
Yeah, we need something.
He said that like once he heard the beat,
like, and already I'm just like, well, I can't wait to hear it because I already know whatever's gonna go down is gonna go down. But he said that made him want to do a story just from hearing the track.
Yeah, and I don't like to just do things to do them. Like, certain rappers be like, we need this type of joint. And we need this type of joint. We need this type of joint. I need a girl record. I hate that shit. So it's like when I hear the beat, that makes me go towards what I need to go towards. So I don't just make up, it was like when he sent it, I'm like, yeah, this gonna be the story I tell about this tale. And it's a tale that resonates with, I'm sure, many people, dude trying to get out and shit pulling them back in.
Yeah.
Shit pulling them back in, yep.
What's the story behind you run up a Def Jam smelling like alcohol and weed?
Yeah, that happened.
Can you
With
explain what happened?
Mr. L.A. Reid?
L.A. Reid, yeah. That was 18 days, man.
Oh, okay.
That was 18 days. We had they was good. They signed us actually. So yeah, that's
You guys rap well.
that was a story that I never really actually told. Yeah, we went up and performed. That's back in the days when you go in the offices and you perform the record. That goofy shit.
About a conference table.
Yes.
Randy didn't get on top of that table, though.
No, I ain't do that. I ain't do that shit. I ain't doing that monkey shit. But, L.A. Reid sitting there with an ascot on. That's a smooth motherfucker. I said, it's a smooth nigga.
He had some wine?
Yeah, he was like some Merlot or some shit with an ascot. I'm like, this a fancy nigga. So
like DMX said, he looks like he floats in on a hand truck.
Very, so we performed, and I was fresh off the block. Me and Hitch went in, and Stack Bundles with it. It was me, Hitch.
Wow, all three of y'all?
Yeah, all three of us went in there.
Crazy.
Performed, and it was just the Desert Storm days, and we signed. We was going to sign, and L.A. Reid was like, "Yo, man, we gonna sign you." I was like, "Oh, this is dope." We came back to Jersey, had a little celebration, and then Jay came.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's another. Another story for another day.
That's a story for another day.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Preem, you've been in the game for over 30 years, man. Producers have come and gone. Like, how have you been able to reinvent yourself throughout this time?
Just being addicted to the culture. And just being a music addict. But I think that DJing adds a big part of it in everything I do, because I think like how real DJs think. I mean, I push buttons now because of the Serato, but they're, button pusher DJs have never touched vinyl, never touched wax, never, even when people tell me they want to learn, first thing I do is refer them to the beat junkies of sound, since they teach. And then on top of that, just the fact that I was raised before rap as a kid, so to see it grow bit by bit. And my grandfather's lived in Brooklyn. He's from Georgia, but that's how our New York connection started. Before I started staying with my college, my college buddies. You remember Gordon and his brother Gary. That was the next stage, because it got to a point where, when you're in college, you're drinking and smoking and doing all the crazy stuff, and you don't want to stay at your grandfather's house because you want to be able to get out and get into a little bit of trouble. So, but my mother's from Baltimore, and every summer we always stopped at my father's family in South Carolina, then his sister in North Carolina, then we drive to Baltimore, stay there a couple of days, and the grand finale is New York, and we did that every summer. It got to the point where my sister and them, by the time I was like 13, my sisters who are older were like, we don't want to keep doing this, because now they want to be home with their friends for the summer, but I still wanted to go because I really liked baseball at the time, and my grandfather was a big Yankees fan, so being I'm the only boy out of all sisters, me and my grandfather used to hang and go to baseball games, and I was good at battling people at pinball machines. So, as a kid, so he'd give me big rolls of quarters, and I'd just go up to people in Playland in Times Square and go, hey, I'll battle you. And, kids like, all right. And I'd beat them. And so I'd go outside one day and just leaving Playland with my grandfather and seeing these kids popping and locking, and the kid's got the boom box, and he only had one turntable, but he's got to go running through the line switch of his boom box and doing all this jigga. But since I was always fascinated with records as a child, I was like, what is he doing to the record? And that made me tell my friends when I went back to school, what you did this summer. And they're like, and they're like, no way, you can't
scratch a record. And you messed the needle up. It's all. I mean, as kids, we always everybody know. I got my ass whipped. Yeah, I got my ass whipped too. My mother said, "Don't you put your fingerprints on the record. That's your ass, and don't you touch that record player." You know, they weren't turntables. Yeah, I seen Jay-Z say that in a long time interview a long time ago. He said, "Yo, my mom and dad had their names on the album.
Put the initials on it.
Yeah, man. I started writing Chris Martin. And then my sister Deb would say Deborah Martin. My sister Ani would say Andrea Martin. My mom said Pearl Martin. My father never collected vinyl, but my mom, she's an art teacher, so she just always would paint and just put on records. And so it's just crazy that the addiction continued once I saw the art of scratching, because I was like, now that's something I want to do musically. I played a few instruments, but not to the degree of where I felt like I was nice.
Right.
And then when I saw scratching, and shout to Randy Pettis, his name is R.P. Cola. He went to college with me at Prairie View A&M, and he said, "Come to my dorm room. I'll show you how to do everything." And I just mastered it, and then I just knew how to. And he said, "Learn how to interpret your own style, though." He said, "Don't be a biter." That's what he said. And you already know. And in the '90s with us, and that's why I always will always put Elliot to a certain higher standard of being there already, because you would get step 2 in the club. A dude will go, "Yo, you bit my shit." Pop and steal on you. So look, it made my watch pop. That's how much. That's how serious it was. That if you bit a style, just a flow, you were getting jumped in the club over a flow, not from. We got beef with you over the streets.
Originality was enforced.
No, you had to be original.
Yeah, over a rhyme style.
But you still follow those guidelines, right? The way you approach things. How you view hip hop, I'm sure. It's still is guided by that lens.
I'm old school. Also, I think that's why me and Preem connected. Also, because when he was talking to me, he was like, "Damn, oh you know?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm old, man."
If you say G-Rap, as soon as you say G-Rap, it's like,
Just
all right.
Ice, like,
Shout out to Just, man.
Yeah,
That's my guy.
these are.
I used to work out with him.
Yeah, these are stories I'm privy to. Like,
Just Ice would go, "Yo, we used to go work out at the Gold's Gym in the Bronx." He go, "Yo, let's warm up with 315. I'm on the decline." I'm like, I'm not warming up with 3 plates.
The warm up is
and he's still a monster, man. That's my guy, man.
You have some crazy story. You sent him a TV or something? I saw
air conditioner. Yeah, I saw him do the interview the other day, and I posted it on my page. But we really hung out a lot, and before in the '80s,
he's the gentleman that might get into some things.
Oh yeah, in the '80s, everybody knew when he was on some really wild
who's
shit.
that, Just?
That's
crazy. I just mentioned, he was one of my
man.
KRS-One, and these are,
hardcore, man. I love it. I mean, that's why MOP. I remember when I saw their How About Some Hardcore poster on the wall, and I'm like, what the hell is this shit with a knife in the wall? And then I saw the video, boom, and I was like, who? That's the ones with because it starts off with the knife, with the same knife in the wall. But I was like, yo, this is who they are.
And then you brought him to D&D probably, right?
I brought him to, I was still doing WBLS, doing the Thunderstorm with Geronimo, and I had them come up as a guest. And then we was like, yo, we're shooting the video, The Code of the Streets, y'all should come through. They came through, and we became family.
You like the way Rand name dropped all those gangsta?
That was fire.
I'm a student.
What's your favorite gangsta album?
Moment of Truth.
Moment of Truth. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. That was the one for me. Crumb Snatcher.
Crazy,
That Crumb Snatcher verse. Hold on, that Crumb Snatcher verse kind of changed my. Because I believe I was writing at that time.
And he's really about that too.
Yeah, I guess I resonate where I hear. I'm like, yo, this dude.
Yeah, Crumb is a real one.
Yeah, that verse right there was like, I know people fawn over the Inspector Deck verse, which is
amazing too.
Deserved, well deserved. But that Crumb Snatcher verse on that album.
And he got a hip hop quotable in the source. That was crazy, you know. But and he, when I met him, he had just gotten out of hospital for, I think, getting shot up 5 times, and he almost died, and he was just recuperating. And he said, I wanted that. That's why we did the Close to the God record, because he wanted to talk about that experience.
How does it feel, Preemo, like when Joey Badass says his new album, Lonely at the Top, was inspired by Moment of Truth? Like, how does that make you feel?
That's how I met him. I saw him do an interview in the Source, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. But he said the album Moment of Truth, the album made him want to start rhyming. I was like, wow. You know, so same thing with BLP Kosher. Same thing. Yeah. He said I was really into Guru and Moment of Truth in his voice, and that made me starting to want to really, you know, start to rap. And I was like, wow. And that's what made me say, you know what, let's do a record.
Preem, how crazy is it that that's the defining body of work? It seems like when in our era we used to debate Daily Operations, Step in the Arena, like which one's better.
Yeah, hard to earn.
But it seems like now Moment of Truth.
Yeah, and not only that. All of our other albums came out every year. We had just taken a 4-year break. So to come back together in 4 years, and it was our first gold album, which Guru used to complain, man, we should have been gold. Everybody's going gold but us. And I'm like, it's gonna happen one day. And that one and it did it like in a month. So he designed the plaque with the label.
No, but people may not know there's such a real story behind Moment of Truth.
Yeah, Guru was actually going through facing a 5-year bid at the time. And so Guru is just dope with titles. He titles everything. And every album after the first one, he would always write it on paper on a piece in no particular order, the name of the song and in parentheses what it's about. So he'll be like, Step in the Arena, some gladiator ramen stuff. You know, it would say like that. Just to Get a Rep was a true story of how he got robbed, and they took his brand new 4Runner, and they had just come out with a new body style and everything, and then we were able to catch the guy, not catch him, but chase after him a couple days later. And we're chasing after him, the cops chasing after us. We're like, that's our car, because they're trying to tell us to pull over. And the guy smashes into an ice cream truck and dies instantly. So Guru's like, yo, I'm doing a song about that. Yeah. So that's why on the Step in the Arena album, it's only 2 verses. When we wanted to do the video, Fab Five Freddy directed it, and he said, yo, it doesn't have a conclusion. It just says the guy got a rep for robbing the person. He said, I need a closing. So we went back in the studio, Recipes to Slow Mo, Sonnenfeld, where we recorded that record at in Brooklyn. He just recently passed. We went back and recorded, added the 3rd verse. You know, the rep girl's bigger now. He's known for his trigger finger. You know, as we know, the things we do come back. And then we gave that to Fab Five Freddy. He's like, that's it. That's how we're gonna end it. So everything really does turn into what it turns into. Yeah. But when it came to Moment of Truth, he was going through some personal situations and some accusations of him doing stuff that was, allegedly that he had done, and. He likes to always title the albums, but when it came to Hard to Earn, he said, you got to name the album. We were just having a conversation. I said, man, the thing that we do is hard to earn. He goes, that's the name of the album right there. You just titled it. So I remember he said, you got to title the next one. Now, with Moment of Truth, I'm like, dude, what we're going through, if you go to jail for 5 years.
And that was the real fear that he was.
That's why the song, it was written very from the heart, and he was emotional because I'm like, well, damn, man, honestly, we're waiting for the moment of truth of what the verdict's gonna be, because his lawyer was like, look, if you lose, he said, I'm not trying to say it's a cool thing, but you'll have an album out when you get it, unless your sentencing gets pushed back to when you got to go in. They could.
Also, it did come out around the trial date and the whole time.
They could have remanded him right then and said, yo, we're taking you right now, goodbye, you know. And so now that we're waiting for the verdict, he's like, you are gonna have to either promote the album by yourself. And I was like, I don't want to do that, because, I was just getting comfortable to finally start speaking.
People didn't like to talk back then.
Yeah.
I was on my Eric B shit. I was just,
Guru would do all the interviews. He'd be like, yo,
he loves
Premier would answer like 5 questions at the end. Premier would answer 5 questions.
He loved it. Like, even when we used to do red carpet, I'm like, I'm not going to no red carpet. Guru's like, he loves that. And that's what was dope, because he loves the spotlight. He loves the red carpet. He likes being flanked with all the ladies and all that stuff. So with all of that, I was like, good, that's what balances us out. Now I'm sitting there going, what am I doing? Okay, this way, Preem, this way. Now I'm a red carpet expert, you know. But
I always wonder, who was the woman on the title track of Moment of Truth?
Which with the Jamaican accent? That was a friend of Gordon's who was in town. And she didn't really have the accent. She kind of did. So she was acting it out. And we were like, yo, okay, do it again.
Oh, okay. Like, close enough.
No matter what we fit, do again. Because Gordon and them are Trinidadian. So, that's how I learned about Kalaloo and Sorrel and Aki and just all the stuff they do, the oxtails and ital stew and, roti, So I became like well versed in the food and all that stuff and how it's been cooked and whatnot. But when the lawyer said that just be prepared to have to do any promotion of the record without him. Yeah. We were just like, and Moment of Truth, we were halfway through him finishing the song. He kept saying, man, I'm stuck, I can't. He don't get writer's block. Guru writes everything right there and he's ready to lay it. You know, he'll go on the session at 5 a.m. and stay there and just record. And
that was the toughest record he probably.
Yeah, and then we were going through splitting up because I was really just tired of the alcoholism. It had gotten just way, it was out of control off our first album, but now multiply times a million. And we were living together until Hard to Earn came out when Master Pill dropped. So we always lived together. So we've been through just so many violent things with each other. I can't lie in front on that. But one thing I love about his family, his sister, his dad, God bless him, his mom, they know he's like that too, way before he met me. Suge, who is the co-founder of Gang Starr from day one. Guru always confirmed that. Suge and him came up in Atlanta when he was at Morehouse. They came up with the name, the logo. Suge came up with the logo, the chain and the star, and they were supposed to be called the gang. They were supposed to be called Gangsters. And then Suge was like, you know what, that might be a little too rough because this is pre-NWA and all that. Yeah. He said, why don't we call it Gang Starr? Like we shine like entertainment, but we still,
too, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, because Suge wanted also to have a bat along with the chain. But Suge was like, yeah, have some bats. And then he was like, yo, let's tone it down and let the chain go around the star. And so with that, all of that embodying what it is, everybody that knew him prior to me we're like, yo, the way he spazzes out on you is not new. He does that to everybody, so it became normal for me, but it never diminished how we made records. Yeah. Our records still.
Take that chemistry away.
Yeah, I always tell people, if we hated each other like that, how can we make that many consistent albums? and then we're on tour again having fun. And
so how did it feel when, did he get acquitted? Or
so he got acquitted, not guilty on all counts. And
felt supercharged?
But because what it was, I left the group right around the Moment of Truth time. We were halfway done with the album. We'd already gotten Deck and everybody else. And then by the time, and shout out to Gordon Franklin for convincing me to go back and finish the album. We made up. I started coming to court every day.
Oh, so y'all had a big dispute during the
Yeah. And I would go with his mom, his dad. I'd be right there. All the owners of D&D, we were all there to support. And then when it came down to to us saying, hey, I'm there with you the whole way, man. I'm not going nowhere, and I'm never leaving again, which I didn't. Yeah. Boom. We went back in the lab and started recording it. So now he was able to complete the other half of the second verse. Yeah. And then from there, he was just, even on the stand, Guru was dope because the DA was so foul and forceful. And, I've seen, I guess maybe from watching TV, if they start needling you, didn't you do this and this? It might make you go, yes, I did it. Yeah. He's going, no. He's like, so you didn't get angry when they did this and this? And he goes, no. And he goes, so what's your definition of angry? Guru goes, the way you're acting right now. The jury just busted out. When I saw them laugh like that, I'm like, yo, he's gonna win it. Because he was so calm. He said, and I'm looking for him to go, yeah, I did it. Again, you know the Wild Guru.
Yeah.
He said, the way you're acting right. And he said it so calm. And to see the jury just bust out, not even a little, it was a full laugh. Yeah, like watching a Martin episode, man. And I was like, yo, he got this. And then they came back and they said, we already have a verdict. We were like, wow. Boom. And then we went and celebrated. And more drinks, but happy drunk.
That was justified.
Happy drunk, but happy drunk Guru was always cool. Anyway, he's fun. He'll yoke you up. I love you, nigga. He'll do that, and then he's like, yo, let's get some chicks. Like, you know, that's him. Oh, let's get some chicks. Let's go to Joe's Pub. You remember that was the spot back in the day. And other than that. You know, but as long as he's not angry Guru, sober angry Guru, you're good. Sober drunk Guru, it could go for 3 days straight. That dude is a machine. Like he could 3 days straight and not get no sleep, and he'll still be yelling, going, "Fuck all of y'all." But when it was come to record, that motherfucker's. I'm talking about looking like a bottle of liquor, and he's writing his rhymes, boom, boom.
What was his liquor of choice? I know it's kind of fucked up, but
he loved beer.
Really?
But and that's the thing. Well, 40s, you know what I'm saying? He did OE. We were all OE heads.
Malt
you know?
liquor.
I was never in the same house.
Why do we do this?
I wasn't. I mean, and
Why do we do this to ourselves?
And on a bummy day, we do Ballantine Ale and man, in college we used to do Mickey's malt liquor because we were on a budget. Me and all my college buddies, like we did Mickey's because you could get it was called Big Mouth. You could get a case for like $6.
Wow. It's that cheap stuff.
But that was
The problem with beer is you could start drinking it all day. So you start drinking all the time.
If you see them with the hard liquor, it's like,
It's gonna go left.
And you see some Jack Daniels or just anything aside from beer. Well,
Yo, Ren, a few months ago, you asked on Twitter, you said hip hop is back. Is rap back? I just wanted to know, what conclusion did you come up with?
I asked that.
You asked that question.
What was going on during that time? I don't know. Hip hop is back. I guess I don't know because did it leave or like I don't know if it ever left. It all depends on where you're looking. And I think fans have a problem with looking in the right places. And they're being ushered to look in the wrong places, I believe. And it's up to us, and this is why this is important. This is why Rap Radar is important to help usher fans in the right direction to find the hip hop you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I don't like to bash any type of music or any type of art form. If it's whack, it's whack. If it's dope, it's dope.
Yeah.
To me, like I said, I'm old school, man. If it's, I don't know if it's new, if it's a young kid, a YN or whatever the fuck you call it. If it's a YN making some, if it's fire, it's fire. If it's whack, it's whack. I go, oh, you an old head, you hate it, and I'm like, nah, it's corny.
Yeah.
It's whack.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And if it's fire, it's fire. If it's whack, whether you're old or young.
Yeah.
So I don't like the age.
We said people were corny in our generation.
We said that like it's always been whack rap.
That's why I like that interview that
Ninth Wonder just did, where he said, an 18-year-old in 2000 is not the same 18-year-old in 2025, even though they're 18. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, B-Dot had tweeted something about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I was saying something on Twitter. I was like, our 20 years doesn't feel like our parents' 20 years.
Right, I just saw that.
And it's so weird when you think about it because someone responded and said, yo, in 88, when I was in high school, 1968 felt like you was watching, the History Channel. My 20 years is you and Nas on the cover of Scratch. That was 20 years ago.
Wow.
So weird. But I know you don't like to be compared to a lot of rappers, but you did say the Clipse are cooking with some fish grease. And you said they inspired you to get back into the booth. Like, what was about that reinvention that lit the spark?
Yeah. Well, I never leave the booth ever, so I'm always writing and shit. But it's particularly Malice, man. I was like, Malice was on his shit, and Push always on his shit.
Yeah.
So, but Malice was like,
Yeah, Malice got a lot of love
and it was
on this new
he
album.
was gone for a minute. So it was like, you know, when I I just liked his approach and his content, and even in the interviews where he was at headspace wise, and I was like, yeah, that's dope. Kind of like it resonated with me because I'm kind of in a similar situation spiritually and mentally. So I was like, yeah, that Malice is on. He's on some shit, and Push is always dope. So yeah, when I heard the Clipse album, I'm like, yeah, that's that sound right there. Yeah, that's that sound that not that we needed because I don't think it ever left, but the masses rap because it's different. You got the underground rap, then you got the masses rap. I think the masses rap needed the Clipse and that sound to be prevalent right now.
Man, this is your third project this year, man. Like, you're cooking with some grease yourself.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, listen. I say this all the time. I could drop every month if if scheduling permits, but it never does. And then even with the level of artistry and art that I'm working with, scheduling will never permit going forward. So, but I like to get at least 2 to 3, and I could have did 5 this year, but like I said, scheduling didn't permit. I'm trying to make the goddamn list.
The list.
Look, man,
December.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make the list.
But you teased something with the conductor, right? Ruffs? Is that a project?
Yeah. So premieres, me and Boom, we about to drop, and then conduct after that, and I was like, this has to happen like this because these are the two of my favorite producers of all time, really. Preem being one for me, and Conductor being like a newer version.
He's dope.
Yeah, a new verse. So I'm like, yeah. Then Preem dropping with Nas after that. So it's like it's just all falling together and coming together. So yeah, I like I said, to hold on to that list. Don't. Yeah, let me get mine on before you do.
I like the collection plate joint you did with Nick Craven and Boldy James. That was good
I
too.
could have. I got a
That
album
was a
with
dope
Boldy.
joint.
Yeah,
Came out of nowhere,
I
right?
like Boldy, man.
Yeah, I got an
Boldy's.
He's fire.
He's different.
Yeah,
he's
he's
different.
fire. I got an album with him, me, him, and Craven.
Wow.
And I was gonna try to squeeze it in, but I'm like, nah, it's too much.
Right.
I don't want nobody heart combusting from all the heat that I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all a break, man. This is enough to make the list.
Right.
I feel like I'm doing.
We will see.
I'm gonna have to go back to Duffel Bag Ren and say, get on. I want to be on that list.
Yeah, man. Look, man. I'm lobbying right now. I'm lobbying.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully.
Preem, you mentioned Nas and this long-awaited project. Like, what can we expect from this?
He told me some good things off the record.
Oh, man.
I was, even when we were talking before the interview started, I've always been a fan of Nas from the day Large Professor. I used to hang out with Large all the time before Nas and Akinelli and Fatal did the barbecue with him, and he and I didn't, Large is hip hop 24/7, and he's so New York.
Scientist.
He's like, yo,
scientist.
man. He's like, word, I got this dude named, I got this dude named the Rapper Nas.
The Rapper Nas.
Yeah, 'cause he was Rapper Nas at that
Yeah,
time.
I remember.
Yeah, and Queens dudes do that. The Rapper Noid. It's like
Rapper-Noid,
they
yeah.
put rapper in front of their names. So when I heard it right when they finished it at Power Play.
Wow.
And because I had a dope system in my MPV, and everybody knew me from my car.
Yeah.
My
You would do
MPV.
the studio and then take it down to the car, the car
MPV,
test.
Yeah. And he played it, and I was just like, yo, this dude's about to be the man, and which he became. And so as a fan, I'm tailoring beats to what I think Nas should rap to. And that's what's been so fun about it. Is it's the same approach. I look at all the tweets. I mean, someone be destroying me like, yo, man,
would have been had this shit out.
with that Define My Name, it was all right. And really, Define My Name was just like an announcement record. It was just like, this is just something to throw out to say, hey, we're finally about to really do the album. And that was it. And even then, if you're from the 90s era of how we put things together, I'm still doing the same shit. And I still scratch on records. Like that already trumps a lot of shit with scratching.
Ren, you
I be
said
scratching.
you posted a few weeks ago that Nas' Second Childhood is your favorite record.
Wow.
What is it about that song that you really love?
The second verse. The second verse, I'm like, yo, this dude described.
And that's a true story.
Yeah, he
The way
just
wrote it.
described every people around me. Like when I was, coming up, and the dude watching Comic View or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, BET on his mama's couch. The whole second, I was like, yo, I know so many motherfuckers like that. Like, yo, he's so descriptive. That's why he's my favorite rapper of all time. It's mad. Like we was talking about this off camera. Like being descriptive is important to me.
Yeah.
Just saying you're spinning the block is not gonna impress me, man. Like I need to know how your heart. Was your heart beating fast? What was the vid? What would you see?
imagery is crazy.
Yeah, the image. Like I need to feel. I need to feel it.
Details,
Yeah, I need to when you're rapping it. I need to feel. If I don't feel you like that, I don't think you rapping well.
Do you remember what the memories of making that record, Preem?
Which one?
Second Childhood?
Honestly, when he was doing Stillmatic, because everything was riding off of Ether, Hard Body at the time, and I didn't know if he was gonna put it on the album or not, because at the time, we thought it was just gonna be something thrown out in the street, and once it did what it did, now he works on his album stuff, so he called me last minute and said, I just need that one. And I remember, shout out to DJ Riz, we were going to a party, and he was like, yo, you sure you gonna be able to go to the party with us? Because if you're working on Nas, you ain't gonna be able to leave. I said, no, he's not coming. I just gotta make sure I send it to him today. And he's like, well, yeah, but you're gonna be locked in. I said, nah, because I'm very good under pressure. If I gotta have it done right now in some type of way, I just get it done. Boom. I cook it up, and I remember Riz was like, yo, that's crazy. I said, yeah, but it needs a change up, and that's when I did the boom, 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 boom. And,
So crazy.
And he's like, yo, that turnaround is crazy. I did that real quick, made the CD, and told Nas, yo, it's ready. And he came and got it. And he's like, yo, I want to record it at D&D tomorrow. I was like, cool. And he came and knocked it out. And but I still had him in mind on everything we've done from Nas, is like to represent the State of Mind, the Memory Lane, to even Come Get Me. I even told him, I said, Come Get Me was my least favorite that I've ever done until I saw him performing on the Chris Rock show. And I saw him on there with the full-length Louis coat, and his breath control was on some KRS shit. And I was like, yo, I like it now, because I know he was going through all this mess at the time before Ether. And he was, so he was throwing his jabs back, but I still was going in with that formula. And he totally nailed it.
Did you know the direction he was going in? Did you?
Yeah, I was gonna ask him.
What?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm a fan. I'm like, I was about to ask my own shit.
I'm just making another Nas Preem joint.
And he didn't say, hey, I want to do a record called this. He just said, this is what I'm going to call it. And he said the beat spoke to him. He's like that.
So it's always the beat.
Come on, man. I just teach a class on this shit.
You think that the beat, like to a true lyricist, the beat has to kind of
Yes,
speak to you?
because when I heard the beat, that's what I would have wrote. Not exactly how he worded it, but it makes you feel like talking. Like when I heard the subject matter, I'm like, that's how I gotta rap.
Yeah, he went in blank canvas with no. He's always done that though. The only one that he described to me ever was, he said, man, I want to do a record like, and he said it just like the record, like if I'm a gun.
What if I'm a gun?
And I was like,
I love that part.
yo, dog, like that's how he said it. It's like if I'm a gun. And we were just like, and we're all sitting around, me, Showbiz, Nas, all of us in the room, and we're just like, yo, that would be kind of crazy. And then I was like, I said, it needs to sound like it's sad. I said, let me cook up something that's sad. And he goes, and he just started writing it, and then he's laying it down and then stopping like, y'all like what I have so far? We're like, yo, that shit is crazy. Because, even the cock me back, uncircumcised, and the no serial numbers.
Imagery.
It's like we totally could picture everything he said. Like you said, but that's the only one he said, I want to do a song of that. The rest of them was just like, yo, that beat is dope. I'm going to do this.
What's your take, Preemo? I don't know if I asked you about the whole Illmatic, it was written thing, where it's like Illmatic, obviously, instant classic. You know, we put it like as a barrier.
Yeah.
And then I tell people at the time, it was written, people didn't embrace it. Like Nas Chains, you got Lauryn Hill on the hook.
I remember that, yeah.
He's being flashy, they didn't really get it in real time. They were kind of kicking his back in, like New York industry was kicking his back in.
I think it's because he started with If I Ruled the World as his, and in my upbringing, I used to tell Guru in every Gangstar record, let's always drop the street record first.
The B-side.
Then we could do the X-Girl, the Next Girl, or Royalty with Casey and JoJo, or Love Sick.
Yeah.
But let's always do the street record first. J. Cole had to convince me on the posthumous album that we did, one of the best yet. Bad Name was the lead single, and Cole was like, yo, Preem, I know that's how you usually do it, but you don't have my audience. He said, I want my audience to start looking into Gangstar records. Let's drop mine first. And I'm like, no.
The rules.
Yeah, you know me. I'm like, no, Cole. And he's like, no, listen to me. But Cole was so convincing that I was like, all right, and it worked. I mean, it's the highest stream record ever, besides our older stuff in the 90s, but it really took off. And then he said, Bad Name is not gonna be in a bad place to follow mine, but he said anybody that don't know who Gangstar is, sees the video, hears the record, they might go, let me look into their stuff. And then he might go, oh, damn, I like this one. Shit, I'm gonna start bumping some Gangstar. So I took his advice on that, so shout to Cole.
But back then it was written though. You got involved with the record. I gave you power. Like, what was your take on what
Because he was talking about being a gun after Illmatic. Like when we're wrapping that up, but we were done already, and he was like, "Yo, one day I want to do one about that." But as we were starting to work on it, was written. He brought it up again.
So Preem, that could have been on Illmatic.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was already thinking
Damn.
like I want to do a record like that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
This is why we have to have these kind of platforms.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't think Nas could have made that. He could have, but
It'd have been different.
Yeah.
It'd have been different. It'd have been different.
But man, all the stuff Havoc did on that album had me bugging.
When it was written, you said.
Ooh, man, yeah.
That's so dope.
Yeah, you look at it, he had Premier in there, he had Havoc, so he had elements of it there. He didn't go too far. But at the time, I think the imagery and everything, it was like,
I know
Shootouts is crazy.
he got hammered for the mafioso. I remember back, just being a fan of the
video
album.
with the pink tux.
He got hammered for that. But now looking back, it's one of my favorite albums.
Also going back
we
to-
were all Casino fans.
yeah,
Right,
for sure.
yeah.
And that part where they had to cover it, just not have lip readers and all that. That was you totally got it. But I know what you're saying. They thought he went into beyond Esco.
Yeah, but there's a generation that thinks that's better than Illmatic, which I thought that people would never
It was a
think
great
that.
follow-up album.
Yeah.
You know,
They're
shout
both
to
classics in a different way.
Shout to Panchi from NYG's. When we were shooting the video for Wave Gods up in Yonkers, in the projects too. We're shooting in there with me, ASAP, Hit Boys there, obviously Nas, and we're all just chilling on the trailer, and Pants gets on there and goes, y'all don't give a fuck. You know, Pants are always just straight blunt. He goes, man, I don't give a fuck. It was written as the album. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said, I'm not trying to show no matter. It was written and he said it right in Nas' face where you even kind of saw a look on Nas' face like, that's dope that you said that because he remembers everybody's rhymes. He's just quoting everything from the album, especially Shootouts. I'm talking about doing it. Like Nas, like you said, his pen game is bananas. You know.
Nas and Mass Appeal are doing great things this year, you know, and
Legend has it.
a posthumous Big L album's on the way. The Big Picture actually turned 25 this year. Like, was it difficult for you to piecing that album together, Preem?
No, because rest in peace to Big L. His mother Pinky gave all the control to Lord Finesse. That's why when I say, you know, anything with Big L, Showbiz and Lord Finesse should be the only ones that lead the way on everything. Because I went to Big L's house to grab the reels to bring them to D&D so we could start picking
which one do you want? And which one do you want? And we all just start loading the 2-inch up. Ooh, I like the lyrics to that one. And then Lord Finesse like, Preemo, I want you to do one of those crazy intros. I was like, well, can I get that verse right there? You know the game plan. C-Town, that's my main man. We don't bring the luggage. We go shopping when the plane lands. He said, yeah, take that. And I said, I'm going to do my scratch intro. But his Big L's mother, man, she was the one that was like, Finesse, as long as you're in charge, take everything. And to let him go in L's closet in his bedroom and load all them up and bring them to the lab. So I witnessed that. And then again, Showbiz is the one that helped get him the deal. Back when Nas got signed to Columbia, it was Showbiz. So he's another one that should be involved. Then let it trickle down. And you know, shout to Don, Big L's older brother. You know, rest in peace to Lee, and you know, they're an important piece as well. But just the overall guidance of making sure things go right, let Lord Finesse steer the show. He's the most honest, realest dude, and he's not gonna let the shit get fucked up.
Right.
He is so an important part of the entire reason why Big L became what he became. You know, as far as getting catapulted and being recognized, Lord Finesse.
Yeah, you know, the world's still mourning the loss of D'Angelo. You know, you worked with him on Devil's Pie and My Lady Remix. Like, what was your relationship like?
I was looking at my text. I'll show it to you after we're done. August 28th is the last text I got from him because that picture of me, Alchemist, Dilla, God bless him, and myself, and Russell, we call him Dragon. That's D'Angelo's engineer. That picture was taken by a guy named Wajid from Detroit because he was with Dilla. This is back when you had, you know, the Instamatic.
Right?
Yeah, we were at Electric Lady. And the only reason why Alchemist was with me is because D'Angelo said, you got somebody that got some good trees? I was like, yo, this guy from California is with me because we're about to go on tour 2 days later on the Smoking Grooves tour, and Al was a roadie at the time. I didn't even know he made beats like that yet. Wow. He's just a roadie. He was a roadie for Cypress Hill.
I thought he was there.
Nah, he was great.
That's Alchemist.
I started hearing this stuff on the road.
And I was like, yo, you nice. And, you know, he played me a Dilated People's remix, and from there it just went up. So, I said, can I bring him? Because I don't like I don't like when people bring somebody and I don't know they're coming, and they show up because they're gonna be. First thing you're thinking, their head's spinning differently. Like, yo, I was in Premier's house and all that stuff. So I'm still leery like that, which is supposed to be if you're in hip hop, especially. But D said, yeah, bring him. Boom, we get there. Questlove is in there doing How Does It Feel? The drums. Boom. He's in there just laying that down.
Insane.
Yeah, and then Dilla, there's some footage of Dilla playing, if you YouTube it, and he's playing drums. So that's the only reason why Questlove's not in the picture, because he was leaving. And so he's on his way out. We all dap each other up. Boom. Then from there, the YG was like, let's take the picture. Now, it started popping up on the internet everywhere, but there's a bootleg shot of it where I have on a PNB Nation shirt, but right around the black area of my hoodie is a white smiley face with headphones, and I'm like, that's not the original picture, but I guess whoever had it was like, yo, this is how I know if anybody rips it, that's my copy. YG just pops up out of nowhere years later and says, I'm the one that took the original. He said, I'm only making 10 of them. I gotta get you one. I gotta get D'Angelo one. How can I get it to D'Angelo? Me and D always talk because D hooked me up with Prince. And I was a Prince junkie. Wow. And they were doing a surprise appearance at Tramps. Another good old day era. Yeah, so me and D have always been real tight with music and whatnot, and he even tricked me and introduced me to Prince before the show. He said, yo, I gotta go do a little interview, because we had just finished the Voodoo album. He said, yo, I gotta do a quick interview in that room. See that door right there? Just go in there and wait for me, and I'll be right back. And I was like, all right, because we were there early, so before the fans come. I go in there, as soon as I open the door, Prince is giving me that laser stare look, and the only other person in the room is Tretch from Naughty.
Wow.
And I'm just, I still don't even know what Tretch was doing in it. And I was just on a flight with Tretch the other day, and I said, man, Every time I see you, I just think of that day. This is the funny part, and I've only said it in one other interview years ago, but Prince, they set me up to, so Prince already knew I was gonna be like surprised, because D was like, yo, you gotta do this for me. Boom, I go in there, he goes, yo, man, I love your album, Step in the Arena. I knew he wasn't into sampling like that. And fucking Tretch punched me in my chest. And said,
in front of Prince?
And said, see, nigga, Prince love your shit. Yeah, what? Yeah, Prince. Because I balled my fist up. And Tretch and I go way back. Me and Tretch got dumb stories of history, so that's my guy. But it was just the fact that he did it, and right when I'm about to make the face like, nigga, he goes, Prince loves your shit, and it was like, yeah, you're right. and I was just so happy, man. Then D walks in and goes, I got you, because I knew his stuff. I knew everything from every level of Prince. So that's how we ended up vibing. So right before he peaked, he was sick already. He was like, yo, can I get that picture, man? But I had just moved from Queens to my new pad, and it was in a cylinder. YG finally sent me the hard copy. Boom. When I was moving, I got some junk luggage to get rid of all the junk I didn't need. And I'll never forget, I said, hey, all that stuff over there, do not grab that stuff. That's me. All that over there, take all of that. It was just everything piled up. They took the other pile. By the time I realized that they took it, they had already left. I called the guy, hey man, you took a poster cylinder. I need that back. He said, man, we just went on another 2 more runs, so the truck is filled to the brim. When we unload everything, we'll give it to you then. I'm like, they ain't gonna call me back. I called him like if I left my phone on the plane getting off. Over and over and over. He's like, yo man, I'm telling you, maybe you put it somewhere else. It's not on the truck. And so I had to call YG again, and because he has to make a personal print of it, and it costs too to do that. I told him, man, D'Angelo's stressing me, and I told D'Angelo the deal, and he's like, oh man, I want to put it in my new studio I'm building. I'm building a new studio. Wow. Boom. I was like, all right, man, and I pressed YG, please, man, D'Angelo's stressing me. I want him to get his before mine, and get Alchemist his copy. Boom. Next thing you know, I get it. I told D, yo, it just came, and I show him a picture of me holding the cylinder. I'll show you, because that's the real picture. I framed mine. I'll show it to you, B-Dot. And okay, so that mine's framed. That's the real one. And look,
it's got the B-boy pose.
And look what it says: 2 of 10.
2 of 10.
All right, boom. I send him I send that to D. D, I write on it and told him, yo, it's on its way. And look what D'Angelo sends me. Boom. Okay, so that's me showing him. I'm sending it to you right now.
Yep.
What does he send? His hand, that's his arm.
He
showing
got
he got it.
on his arm.
Yeah. So I'll show it to y'all afterwards.
Yeah.
That's me sending it to D.
Wow.
That's him showing that he got it.
Oh wow.
So I'm actually frame that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
Yeah. So and I sent him tracks for the new album he was working on, and then
So he was really working on
yeah, yep. And then boom, he just silence after August 28th.
Wow.
And then Amir, we're on a group chat, a whole bunch of us producers, and then that's when he was like, yo, because we had heard, shout to Alchemist, he said Erica, he called me like 6 a.m. Said Erica hit him up and said, yo, I heard D just passed. And of course she would know. But we were just like, well, there's nothing in the news yet, there's no Google, but Erica ain't gonna say that and not know.
Yeah.
And then we just waited and waited. And Amir was like, yo, I hate to bring bad news to y'all, but he's gone. I was like, damn.
It's super sad, but I feel like what's interesting to me is it's still so much in the conversation, right? He seems to be really being appreciated, you know.
Oh, yeah. And
generationally to like,
yeah.
I'm impressed.
And you know, everybody's always like, oh, you're the first one trying to race to say who died.
Yeah.
But it's my fucking page.
I can post whatever I want on my page. And
He was your friend.
yeah, like even with I remember he was upset that I couldn't be at the Verses because I had a gig out of town because I went to the rehearsal. And so that was my first time seeing him in years, and we chilled, bugged out, and I was like, yo, I never got my voodoo plaque. He said, what? We gonna, and he's the type that's like, yo, you should have it. He started making calls, all that stuff, and then from there, he wanted me to be at the, way back when we did the Lady remix with AZ, he wanted me to be at that video, but I was in Europe on tour for that. And he's like, you can't just fly in? And I was like, I can't. We were on a Gangstar tour, so we couldn't leave and fly in for the video, but that's the only reason why I'm not in the video.
Yeah. How did you guys first connect, like, to work together?
We had mutual friends in Virginia that I knew already that knew him, and then once he got signed to the label, we were label mates.
Oh, label mates,
so now we're like, yo, through mutual friends.
Right?
So we were just hanging just because we knew, like I said, mutual people, but we always hung out,
Alchemist told a story that you told him, don't have anything in your hands.
Yeah.
When you
The only thing that was a little off was I warned him when he came with me. Even though it still happened the way he said it, so it's not incorrect. But it was when he was with me, I said, yo, you could just be chilling right now like this, and he'll look at you and go, and dab you up. Now we could be talking, whatever, listen to the record, woo, and he'll go. and he does it with joy. Like he'll look and smile and then do the so. I'm watching him do it to Alchemist about 100 times, and I'm sitting there like I told you. but yeah.
Mentioning Alchemist though, I know you hate the tour, but Preem, you and Alchemist about to go on tour.
Yeah.
Later this month.
You don't like the tour?
Bang bang.
You don't like the tour?
I don't like to be
He
around.
reposted from their interview about how he doesn't.
I don't like. Preem, I don't like people.
You're the wrong business, man.
I hate crowds. I have to move the crowd.
Like I said, even in our business chat, he's like, yo, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I was like, if you and Rock been hanging out with Rock Monster, because Rock's like, yo, man, I don't want to do the same thing he's like, I don't want to do the same thing everybody does to promote. I don't want. I did the rhyming on every show. I did this on every. I want to do it different. Yeah. And he was the one that wanted to put out Glory Hole. It's like, yo, I know it's not a radio record. I know it's not this, but that's the one I want to drop. I'm like, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
And took his shirt off and shit.
Yeah, that's him. Poker. The director convinced him.
Poe start making the set all hot.
But the follow up with Rand doing the same thing, like, nah, I did all that. I'm not doing that. I did. But if it's going in that booth, he's in there 24/7.
Defiant, man. I'm like, man, I don't want to be around nobody.
Yup.
But these two guys right here, I named them. Yep.
But with the tour, like you're going overseas and to
Preemo
Europe.
the Chemist.
Yeah.
What's the reception like when you guys are over there?
International.
Man, it's like it used to be in the 90s. And again, I always keep referring to him, not to slight you, but I just so many things with Elliot I just remember of being there on every level of it in those earlier stages. In the 90s, it was really just Puerto Ricans and blacks at our show. And
Black and brown.
And rocking. They weren't just sitting there they're like, oh, Europe is through the whole, all the way to when you say peace out.
I would do that. I would go overseas and tour. No, I would tour overseas.
You will get a lot of
go on tour with DJ Premier.
For sure. I ain't stupid.
I'm gonna be like, yo,
That's the way to kick it off, right?
I'll be like, yo, Rand, there's people out there.
Well, I ain't stupid. For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
But what do you and Al do? You play your records, or what are you trying? What is the goal when you rock those parties?
With me and Pete Rock, we used to just always record for record, more in a battle format. Because Pete and I have done it so many times, and we've toured Australia. We've done so many tours together. Summer Stage. We even did the amphitheater and all that stuff where Wild Style was shot. And I remember the power went out and the crowd just stayed in pitch darkness going hip hop, hip hop. I need to post it. I still have the clip.
Wow. And
then the next year we did it again.
Yeah.
And people did not leave, man. And there was no violence, no nothing. And then we did the following year, and it seemed like because of how dope it was the year before, now everybody, it looks like it's at least 200 people behind us on the stage, and everybody's like, I want to rhyme next. And we're like, who else back there? Okay, I got the instrumental. And I just remember me and Peter going record for record. I got Bumpy Knuckles. I got Greg Nice doing Dwick. And I had Sadat X. All of a sudden, that motherfucker Pete said, boom, 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 boom. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, broken language?
And Smooth Hustler came up. I said, on the mic, I hate you, Pete. I hate you.
Who sees Smooth Hustler?
Because now he's like, big eyes on that. We all doing this. You got to do this. You got to. That little fan from MOP says, yo, when it makes you do this, that's when you know that shit hot. And I just sat there and we were all singing it, and the crowd's going crazy. So now with Al, we was like, should we do the record for record thing because we've never done it before? He's like, no, let's switch it up and do something different. So we cooked up a whole different thing that both of us are new to. Poe has actually been filming us coming up with ideas, and then we did a second day of shooting at my house where we're like, okay, well, this is how we're gonna come on stage. This is how we're gonna start. Okay, now what are you gonna play next? And now we actually have it formatted like this, from hit all the way down. So we know what we're gonna do, and we're gonna see if it works on some flawless shit. So.
How do you narrate? You have so many. Do you have records that are like your favorites, like your personal favorite? Like, what is your top three? I guess.
Great.
Top three. Wow.
Because he ducked my favorite gangsta album. He ducked my best gangsta album.
What's yours? Your best gangsta album?
I'm old. I'm still probably, it might be Daily Operation.
Daily Operation, Daily Operation specials because that's when I started getting calls to produce. Lord Finesse had already been produced by me because we were label mates on Wild Pitch. Yeah. But as far as KRS is when I got the call after Daily Operation, and I was like, Chris, I want to do an album.
Yo, we not got a great KRS.
I have 5 battle rhymes for anybody.
That's him.
5 battle rhymes.
And look, he's the one that said, I want to call it Return of the Boom Bap, and now people call that like a style of hip hop. It's boom bap, You got trap,
Did he
drill.
coin that? Huh? Did he coin that?
I mean,
I think he might have.
I
Put
guess
it
so.
out as a record.
Yeah.
See, we figuring shit out on it.
What's your top three, though, Preem? If there is any.
It's hard to say, man.
He still didn't even answer the best gangsta.
Because one of my
I said the best. He said, what is it? Your best. See, I did
my favorite album?
No,
best-
for tracks, for like the Alchemist.
The best gangsta album. And
my
the 3
favorite
tracks.
Alchemist tracks?
No. For this tour, like, what are like the 3 essential favorite Preemo tracks?
Man, Boom.
Boom.
Always
Royce
tears
the
the club.
5'9".
Always tears the club up.
Yeah.
Full Clip tears the club up. Like to
Big
see
L,
it.
rest in peace.
Yeah. And that's special because right when we got the call to L Pass, we were already doing the best of Gangstar Full Clip. And I already had the beat because the beat for Full Clip was a Pizza Hut commercial for Spike Lee.
What?
And he didn't want to use it. They had already given me like the
Never heard that.
I know.
They had already given me the footage, and I put the beat to it, and it just happened. He was in all these different places in New York, and he kept going, you got nothing, and he'll be in another place. You got nothing, and he'll be in another place. He's even on a horse and carriage. You got nothing. But the way the beat was going, and he'd go, you got nothing. It just went with it.
Wow.
And I was
And
like,
he just did a Spike Lee commercial.
for the 2K.
Yeah.
And from there, they passed on it, and then we got offered to do this Full Clip project. They said, we'll pay you to do 3 new records, and we want it to be your unreleased B-sides, and then all your remixes and certain choice cuts from your albums to make it a special a double project. We were like, cool. So I said, the Guru was like, yo, I like that beat. And usually everything is made for Guru except for that one beat. He said, I want to rap to that. Big L died the day before we went to record it, and I said, yo, Guru, if we do Big L Rest in Peace at the top, every DJ is gonna cut that right away because it was.
And the timing was crazy.
It was like it came out like maybe 5 days after L passed.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing. I remember it coming out right after.
Every DJ was Big L Rest in Peace. Like who wasn't
Did
doing
they just
it?
make this record? Like
Yeah. So it was already intended. We just didn't have the Big L Rest in Peace in plan because we didn't know he passed until that. It was on a Monday because I remember
Clue was on, and he said it on the radio. Lazy Lays from MOP called and said, yo, Clue is saying Big L died. Is that true? I'm like, nah, that can't be. I called Lord Finesse. His girl answered, and I said, yo, is Finesse up? And she said, yo, he's in bed. He don't want to talk to nobody. I said, yeah, I just heard a Big L pass. She goes, oh, no, it's true. And then I just heard his voice go, that's Premier? He goes, give me the phone. This is when you had home phones. And he was like, yeah, I just, it's true. And he said, yeah, I just don't want to talk to nobody, but I had to tell you the deal. And that's why I was like, yo, I'm putting that at the top of that record.
Okay, give us Making a Boom before you give B-Dot's third pick.
Boom, full clip. I mean, Mass Appeal too, because that was more of a joke towards radio. And Guru, and Guru said, I want to make that.
One of them,
He said, I want to make that like as a middle finger to radio because we never get on radio, and it always has to sound like some little ding 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 ding, and he used to call it tink tink music, ding 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 ding. So what I heard, I always hear it before I sample it or find the sample. I always hear what I think it should sound like, and then when I find something that sounds similar or close, then I cook it up.
I remember when we interviewed Stephen A. Smith, he said he loved work.
Yeah, I posted that clip.
Yeah.
And I was doing an interview at ESPN with Bomani Jones because he used to go to my college, and so we have that connection, and it was a sports a sports episode that he did. I'm walking to my car and I see Stephen A. I'm all excited to tell him, yo, I'm the one that made that record. Because again, that clip had already gone mad viral. I'm trying to tell him, and he's just walking like, yeah, whoever you are. And I'm still walking silent. I'm about for where you are. This is, and we're both walking this way, and I'm going, yo, I'm the one, and he's still kind of just like, yeah, whatever, dude. And I was just like, damn, Stephen A. played me. So that was my Stephen A. play. That was my Stephen A. play.
You say DJ Premier?
He didn't. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he don't know who.
You didn't want to say it. You wanted to be like, yo, it's Premier.
No, I said DJ Premier from Gang Starr.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And he goes, all right. But,
That is blasphemous. I was going to put that on the record.
I got fly. So that was my Stephen A.
He's not welcome with the Rap Radio Podcast reunion tour.
Blasphemous.
He's not fucking invited.
Blasphemous.
Sorry, Stephen A. Yeah. Fuck your political views. Now you're really crossing the line, buddy.
Now I'm gonna delete that post. When I saw it, somebody sent it to me. I was like, yo, and he was doing the spinning the wheel and all that. And I was like, and I'm sitting there looking at it, doing doing this, this was like maybe 5, 6, 7 days later at Tops. So to see him right there going, yo, I'm
That was
DJ
me,
Premier from
man.
Gang Starr. Yeah, that was me, but. I could tell he didn't really hear
This is why Rand hates people, man.
I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm already fuming right now.
Yeah, I think
right
if I was able to get him to stop for a second and be like, yo, or maybe if I had hummed it and said, maybe he would have been like, oh, you made that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I love that joint. But you could tell he didn't really know when I kept saying, and I don't do that. I don't be like, yo, I'm so-and-so.
Yeah. That's why I thought you didn't even say you were DJ Premier. Maybe that's all.
Nah, I did that. I said, yo, DJ Premier from Gang Starr. Because we're both walking in unison. Because I was like, oh shit, that go to Stephen A. And I remember Key was with me, and Key was like, yo, Stephen A. played you. Because Key knows how I am. Nobody played me. Nobody played me. He knows how I am. He knows because I'm very confrontational, quietly. So
He'll go on the show. I just want to apologize.
So
You said Boom though. How did Boom? I'm sure Boom. The intent was going to be this record that's like a
Boom
life-changing
is a
record.
trip story because that was for Capone-N-Noreaga.
Oh wow.
they weren't there yet.
Don't tell Nori about to do a 4-hour drink champs about how you should have that track.
Hey, Invincible was a banger.
So Nori heard the record?
No,
He had the beat?
they weren't there. Roy's supposed to meet up with me to talk about working on a record. He's like, yo, what's that? I said, that's for Capone-N-Noreaga. Royce is going in the lounge. Yo, where they at? I said, they're not here yet. I'm still waiting on
MC thing in there.
I said, yo, can I get that one? I want to be like, almost like Nas. I want to be like I'm a ticking bomb with rhymes.
Oh, he told you the concept?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he said, and put like a ticking thing in it. And I was like, all right, man, I sampled it, ticking clock.
And he was like, yo, Royce is ready now. And he put that down. And I can't remember if they showed up that day or not. But when they did come and we finally got one in, Invincible popped off for us.
Oh, Invincible was dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that rocks when I perform it.
Preem, you've produced from everybody from A to Z to actually AZ. Like, is there anybody that you want to work with now that, like, who's left?
I always wanted to work with DMX. And when he was going to court, he was going to court in the back of the car, driving to court early in the morning, rhyming to the beat I sent him, and he never got it done. He passed, and then even to this day, me and Ghostface have never done something. And I'm a huge Ghostface fan. I'm a huge Ghostface fan.
That's something that sounds like it should have happened.
I love Ghost, man.
It can still happen.
Yeah, I'm a huge Ghost fan. So one day.
One day.
Yeah, one day.
Premier.
And I love the work you've been doing too. Like I said, your features this year of Lloyd Banks. He doesn't play well to others too much.
That's why look, I'm with all the introverts.
Social rappers.
I'm with all, yep. We got a little clique, we got a little group chat.
haters.
We got a group chat that nobody chats in. It's fucking empty.
Banks keeps all the records to himself.
Yep.
That's funny.
And Shay Noir, you guys have a great collaboration with as well.
She's an introvert as well.
Yeah.
Shay Noir, yeah.
I used to always say, Shay look like she just never happy.
Oh yeah, I love Shay, man. She's so fucking dope, and she's quiet and introverted like me, and Spesh and Banks, because we all did. That's my like my little crew right there. Even though we don't speak at all.
Never been to each other's homes.
Right, yeah, we don't, but that's my clique.
Now they go to each other's house and nobody says nothing.
Yeah, we just
It's made great beats,
Coffee
great records.
shops once a
Watch
month.
TV? No.
Word. We're looking forward to Reinvention. Everyone make sure they stream that now.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Because the thing is, go back to the theme to close it out. What's going on? Rappers never fall off anymore. And people rhyme better, they produce better, the people are everlasting in this shit. What do you think it is? If you just nice, you're nice?
No, yeah, on my take on it, it's not that, man, because you have to, I don't know how it is with producing, but with writing, you shouldn't fall off if you continue to do it. You should get better. So, yeah, when I hear older rappers, that sound a little like they lost a step, like, you ain't in the lab. You ain't,
Doing your reps, getting your
yeah.
reps.
And I'm real, I can hear it,
So for you have to write often, like to keep your pen sharp?
For sure.
Your
For
process?
Sure. Yeah, I write almost, I was going to lie. I was just about to lie and say I write every day. I do not write every day, but I observe every day. So when it's time to pen, it just it's coming out. But I record and write weekly, right? And you have to practice writing and rapping and even the diction and saying the words. Like all that shit needs to be practiced because if you don't talk for 3 months, the next time you talk, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be a little, rusty.
Yeah.
So you need to sharpen the skills. So I hear it. I hear when people's rusty. I hear when people are sharp. And if you're an old head and you're not, and it sounds a little off, I know you haven't been doing this.
Yeah.
And it's cool. You just need to get back to it. So it's not about you being nice and you always nice, you're always gonna be nice. No, you're not. You gotta practice. You gotta shoot in that gym.
How do you look at it from the producer aspect? Because you see, like, everyone's loving Alchemist this year and what he's doing. Like, how do you think producers can stay sharp?
I think it's the same. I mean, Al's in there even on days that he's not there. It's the drum machine is still rolling. It's an empty room with no lights, and he's not there, but he's there because he's just always. Benny's there, then Westside Gunn's there, then if Prince was alive, he's there. Like he's always recording, and I'm the same way. Like I'm always at it, and I think there's even sometimes like I'm not used to the comments stuff, which I had to learn to adjust. But I'll see stuff like, Premier hasn't been hot since the '90s, and I'm sitting there like, damn. And I don't like to say the outside thing and all that, but it's like I know you definitely either have not been around when we were really around and all the hot stuff. And then the first thing that always comes to my mind is on the producer side is
I scratch, which I said earlier. I scratch on my records all the time, so it's like that adds another 100 points just for one scratch on how I produce, because I add that to the record to make it all be complete.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, I it's more comical, and then I'll even pause and go, damn, what have I made since the 90s up to now? Damn, I've done over 1,000 more things. All right, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. And then all I need to do is to know within myself that I'm good, because I'm still enjoying it. And if I'm enjoying it, and the most important part, that I'm still in the conversation. So hate it or love it, they're still talking about me. So, you know, sometimes when they match me up with certain producers, I'm like, nah, I should be with Knots and you know, I should be with Knots and Pete and the Beatminers and Show and Diamond and Have, you know, those are more like my Large Pro. We're more like-minded producers, you know. So if we're in the mix of them, and put Dre in there. I hate when people are like, oh, Dre has help. Dre is a producer. Period. I've seen him work. And then all that stuff in the early days with NWA and Easy was him. And he was scratching. Him and Yella, they were scratching. You look at the DLC video, he's on the wheels. You know, like, come on. Yeah, so I always put Dre in there when I'm tired of he has other people on his team, so what? See, he's a look, I say a producer. He's a he's PRA, a producer. He's not a producer, he's a producer.
Facts.
Yeah.
Also think that it got to be on your mind too, man. Like, even when I'm not rapping or writing, I'm thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'm thinking about, like, damn, that's a bar. Life is like rap to me. Everything is a metaphor. I could be grabbing for the butter in the fridge. I'm thinking of a butter slipping. Well, you know what I mean? Like everything is just like,
it doesn't shut off.
Yeah, it never shuts off. So I think when you shut the outside world off a little bit and the outside noise off, because you know, I'm not in the clubs, I'm not drinking, I'm not out and about. I get to really hone in on just thinking about 2 or 3 things. You know what I'm saying? In my life, I just got my family. I even eat the same thing every day. All I think about is rap and how to improve and be the greatest motherfucker that ever lived. Right.
And
bringing the greatest podcast back together.
Yeah, that's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. Yeah, that's greatness. Greatness, man.
And like we were talking about the subject of Nas, he actually will call me just out of nowhere and go, yo, I feel like just rhyme. Like, he is such in rhyming mode right now.
I hear it now.
He's been documenting how he's been killing it, right?
Killing it.
Yeah, I hear it now.
He's in rhyme. Like, and even all the blogs, everybody's just putting up Nas is in his bag on every feature. The Clipse, Big L, Mobb Deep, Raekwon, Ghostface. You know, he's on the De La album.
No pressure, Preem. We're gonna get that out. We getting it out this summer. We getting it out.
That I'm not gonna say.
We get it out.
That's not on me. That's not on me.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Season's greetings. Ring the little jingle bell.
Premier is Scrooge. I love my Nas album.
I yell and I give shit from me.
Word up.
Well, once again, thank you guys, right, B?
Yes, this is the reinvention right here. So
Wow.
Yeah.
See, you're fucking, you're good. You're good, man. You're good, man. I know there's a reason I liked you, man.
Yeah. One more time, Rap Radar reunion.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's do it.
Reinvention.
This is important.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
Man, thank you.
Hey, man, like I said, that was him. He goes, I got an idea. You know what I'm saying?